Hello guys, welcome to our lesson today. Today we want to look at chlorine and its compounds, and we want to look at the subtopic chemical properties of chlorine with me, teacher Twaha. Under chlorine and under this subtopic, we want to look at the first chemical property, that is reaction of chlorine with water. Chlorine reacts with water to form chlorine water. Chlorine is a gas, as you know. Chlorine, when bubbled in water, it dissolves. It is slightly soluble in water to form a compound called chlorine water. But chlorine water also contains two compounds in it, and these ones basically is chloric 1 acid and the hydrochloric acid. The reaction, or the equation for the reaction, occurs as follows. The chlorine dissolves in water to form hypochlorous acid. This is what we call chloric 1 acid, and then hydrochloric acid. When chlorine dissolves in water, for example, according to our experiment here, as you can see, we have some potassium permanganate crystals in this flask here, and we are adding a few drops of hydrochloric acid here to cause formation of chlorine, which we dissolve here in this water bottle in order to form some chlorine water. The chlorine water formed, its color is yellow solution. It can be pale yellow depending on the amount of chlorine that we have dissolved in the water here. But you can see here at the top where the chlorine has dissolved quite enough that the color is turning to the pale yellow solution of chlorine water, which we are talking about. The observation therefore we make here, we say that a yellow solution is formed when chlorine is bubbled in water. A yellow solution is formed. Next, we want to continue and look at more about chlorine water. When exposed to sunlight, the chlorine water which we have formed above, as you have seen, the chlorine water decomposes and gives out bubbles of colorless gas, oxygen. The decomposition is due to this hypochlorous acid or chloric 1 acid, which decomposes according to the following equation. The hypochlorous acid disintegrates when exposed to sunlight. This is the chlorine water, so when you put it under sunlight, the acid decomposes to give off bubbles of colorless gas, oxygen, and this one is a very important property of chlorine water because it acts as an oxidizing agent and at the same time as a bleaching agent. Oxidizing agent and at the same time as bleaching agent. This is why chlorine bleaches dyes and moist flour. Oxidation means giving away oxygen or giving oxygen to a substance. Giving oxygen to a substance is what we call oxidation. And when hypochlorous acid in chlorine water decomposes to give its oxygen away, this oxygen is taken up by the dyes or the flowers, the moist the flowers, and then they lose their color and they become white or colorless, and therefore we say that the flower has been bleached or the dye has been bleached. For example, as you can see here in this video, we are having our purple flower here, and we have prepared the chlorine gas which is coming in this flask where we have put our purple moist flower. Why the flower is supposed to be moist? Because the chlorine to bleach, for chlorine to bleach any substance, it has to first of all dissolve in the moisture to form the chlorine water which is containing the hypochlorous acid. And now this hypochlorous acid starts to give away its oxygen to this flower, and the flower loses color. As you can see here, the flower is losing the color and is becoming white or colorless. Therefore, the flower is bleached. And The equation for this breaching is as follows. This is the flour or the dye. It acquires the oxygen which is produced from hypochlorous acid here, and when it acquires the oxygen, then the dye becomes colorless. Now this is the colorless dye or the colorless flour. It has been oxidized. Oxygen has been added to it, but the substance which has added oxygen is chloric 1 acid or hypochlorous acid. That is a very important property of chlorine water.